Welcome to the Unit Coordinator results process for TP1 2014. For those of you who are new to the Unit Coordinator process, this will be of great benefit to you. For those who've been here before, you will notice that there are a few slight changes to the spreadsheet. What you have to complete all this is a number of things. Firstly, there's this 7-page document. Then obviously there's the spreadsheet itself, and you've got this video if you need to go back and see a few things. So what I'm going to do is just take you through the process, and very soon there will be a couple of collaborate sessions with Lindsay and Samar for those of you who want to be on a live session and a chat session with them, and they can help you with this. So without further ado, let's just see how this goes for now. One thing I should mention up front, for the purposes of this video, what I cannot do for privacy reasons on a YouTube clip such as this, I can't go into a real Blackboard site and show you how to download the data that's there for privacy reasons. So what we've got here are examples of made-up groups of figures and made-up student numbers and names. For those who need to have a look at how this is done, on page 5 of the 7-page Word document in Appendix 1, you can see from here this gives you a number of screen dumps and takes you through step by step just exactly what you should be doing for the first step of this process. Before we start this process of downloading the results into the tab that says BB Grade Centre, what is different in the spreadsheet this year are a few extra tabs on the bottom and some taken away. I will highlight those as we go, but really there are two main reasons why we need this spreadsheet done correctly. Firstly is making sure that the results are all in and correct, because the results go through the university not from Blackboard but from here. Secondly, this is where we ask you to give your feedback on what you think you can do to improve the unit and to explain any anomalies in the results. So let's get started. First thing you should do on the Start Here tab is in this first page here in the orange cells, put in the unit code, the unit name, who you are, and then choose one of the program directors relevant to your particular unit. The next thing you should do is actually go into Blackboard and copy and download into a spreadsheet your results, and then copy those results into the Blackboard Grade Centre and paste them into A1. So go and do that now, please. One thing I should say here, before you download the data from Grade Centre into this spreadsheet, hopefully all of your ELAs have done as much as they can in finalising their marking and uploading their results into Blackboard. There obviously may be some deferred results or students that have applied for special consideration or doing special exams later on. That's okay as long as you've got this in a situation that is as finished as you can make it. Now, assuming that you've done the process of downloading the results into a spreadsheet and then copying them into the BB Grade Centre tab here, this is what it may look like. Now notice here, this is fairly standard. There might be some comments such as there's some in progress marking still. There might be blanks where students have just done nothing. And there's also this user demo one that we use for testing purposes. The next thing you should do is copy all of that again into the edited results. So simply go up into A1, choose the whole lot, then Control C and copy that, and then paste that, Control V and put it again into cell A1 of the edited results section. The reason we need to do this is so we can always keep a raw copy of the data from the Blackboard Grade Centre. So go ahead and do this and make sure you've got to that stage, and then we'll take you further in the next little bit. Now that you've copied the raw data from the BB Grade Centre tab into here, the Edited Results tab, the next stage is to actually clean up the data here, get rid of some unnecessary columns and rows, and to take away and finalize things such as your in progress or needs marking comments that may still be in here. To give you some inspiration as to what this may look like, have a look at the samples for edited results. And we have 3 examples here, and this is just 3 of many. If we had a look at all the hundreds of units that Sol has, we have got many different examples of what this may look like. However, have a look at these and play around and look at the formulas that are in here and see exactly how these column headings are made and the formulas that are used. Let's take Tracy, for example. Tracy has got 3 pieces of internal assessment, and the internal assessment totals 70, and she's got a 10, a 19, and a 13, and these add up to 70, the 15, 35, and 20. When we add these together, we get 42. For the exam, marked out of 20, Tracy gets 23. So her raw score mark is adding up these 2 cells. I know there's no fractions here, but this adjusting column is necessary in case you've got some fractions of numbers in the raw mark data. So what this column here will be is rounding this column here to the nearest whole number. So to do that, if you have a look at the formula, it's round equals round brackets I6, comma 0, and what that does is it rounds it to a whole number. The next stage is very important. It's what to do here. The interesting thing here is this is something that you will have to put into your spreadsheet, and I'll show you how to do that soon. So have a look around these samples for edited results columns and see how you go. You may not have anything in the exam or the final assessment yet, but see how you go with cleaning it up, and I'll get back to you in the next stage. Here is my go at a cleanup of the edited results tab with all of the information for my unit in. Let me just explain how I've done this, and you'll see what I mean. The first piece of assessment was 3 tests. Each of these tests were marked out of 20, and here are the scores. However, the first assessment is given a weighting of 25%. So if you look at my formula, I've added the D2 to F2, the 3, and divided them by 60 multiplied by 25%. So that's how I get this figure here. Second assessment is also a 25%, it's a straight mark out of 25. The final assessment is marked out of 100, but it's a 50% assessment weighting. Now when I add all these together, so what I've done here is if you look at the formula, I've added G2 plus H2 plus I2 divided by 2. So the cell I2 divided by 2, which is 46. I add all them together, and this is my mark, the raw score mark. Once I've got this cell formula in here, all I need to do then to get the rest is to highlight them all and then simply go into fill and go down. And that copies the formula all the way to the bottom. This adjusted figure of 95, if you look at that, that is a rounded figure from the previous cell. What we've done here is in this K2 cell reference, here is my formula, equals round brackets J2, comma 0. It will round it to the nearest whole number, either up or down. Now, the most important thing here is the grade. To do this, there's no other way really apart from doing it like this. What we need to do is to link this into a tab at the end of this spreadsheet that you don't need to go to, but we'll do it a simple way. Go into the edited results section and look in this example 1 and click on this cell here. This is K6, and here is the formula for this. Looks a bit interesting, so we'll just copy that, Control C, and put this into Control V into a Word document. So just go out of there. Now go back into the edited results section and go into the grade here, and then go back into Word and pick this formula up, Control C, back into here, Control V. And if you look at that, it just says distinction. That can't be a distinction because the distinction is not 95. If you look at this, it's got to refer to this previous cell, K2. If you go up into here, notice it says J6. So if I just change that to K2, enter, here we have now the correct formula for James, and he gets an HD. All I need to do now is click on that, drag down to the bottom to here, and then simply go into fill and down, and here are all the results for the students in this unit up until now. One little thing to put in at the bottom of the spreadsheet here are averages. If you're not sure of how to do an average, the formula is equals average, and in brackets the range that you want to go from. So I'm going here from G2 down to G28. So if you look at this, you see it's the average from G2 to G28. Put the formula in there, and then to get it right across to the final raw score, you just simply fill and to the right. Notice that the grades are in column L. What you need to do now is go to the results summary section and go into here and change this to L and enter, and then automatically these results will come up.
Step 7 in the results process is fairly important. After we've put these averages in, what you need to do is to click on this cell, go right down to here. We're going to rearrange this data to make it easier to read. So to do that, I then go into sort. Now what I've done there is just right click that, or you can actually go up into the sort function way up in the right. I'm going to sort, and it's a custom sort. I'm going to do this on the adjusted mark column and go from largest to smallest. Press OK, and now it's much easier to read. And here I'm going to follow all the information here in step 7 and make the necessary adjustments. So what I need to do here is I know that Jasmine is going to get a deferred result because she has more assessment coming later on. This one here, and she may have a special exam coming. So what we do here with Jasmine is that we delete that mark and then tab through. Instead of it being an NA, we just type in DEF, so we now know that Jasmine has a deferred result. I'm looking here at Tiara, and I see that she's on a 59. I'm going to make a decision with Tiara because she was pretty good. She just didn't do too well in the final exam, but I think her mark warrants a 60. So we'll add that in. She gets a 60, and I might go to Alan and change him to go up to 70, and for whatever reason. Here I would then add in a small note so that we've got record that that's what you've done. So this step, step 7, is fairly important in order for you to make the final adjustments in this spreadsheet in the edited results section.
So we're almost finished. The things you need to do as unit coordinator now are, if we've got this situation, you need to put in just a little brief comment here. If your failure rate is over 30%, you'll need to comment on what to do in here. I've given some help in the Word document as to what you might put in here. Just simply comment on the unusual distribution, and there's some examples of what to do. Perhaps the most important thing for us, for you, is to now complete the unit action plan. This is very important for improving unit going forward into the next iteration of when we teach this. So make sure that before you send this spreadsheet back to us, that you complete this. This is super important. And that's the last thing you need to do. So recapping, what you've done is you've got your information in the start here. The Blackboard Grade Center has all of the raw data. Your edited results is now cleaned up. The results summary is completed with the correct column letter here, and you've got some information in here. Just again, it's almost exactly the same as what you would write in the results explanation page. Back to results explanation. Only if your failure rate is above 30%, then you need to complete this. But the main thing for you is really to complete this. So have fun, and hopefully all will go well. If you get stuck, make sure you contact your friendly neighborhood program director.